Hi everybody, I am Katie Varvos and you are watching the Unemployed Graduate, the show where I talk to you about news and issues that matter to me and hopefully you guys too. So today is our weekly news roundup and that brings me to my first story I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is probably one of the most horrific news stories I have heard all year long. A former contestant of the Ukraine The X Factor was attacked and physically abused by Russian anti-gay extremists last week. 24-year-old Alexander Bohun had responded to a personal dating ad on Russian social media giant VK.com, and instead of meeting the person described in the ad, he was met by a group of ultra-nationalists responsible for several homophobic assaults on LGBT persons. The founder of the anti-gay Russian group Occupy Pedophilia is a leader known by the street nickname as The Cleaver. And in a statement from Bohun's prosecutor, he said that The Cleaver had been responsible for beating and physically assaulting him. But not only that, he was forced to make a series of false statements. The assault was so disgusting and degrading, but the anti-gay group also took a video and uploaded it to the internet. The video uploaded showed Bohun claiming he was attempting to make contact with male minors, being forcibly shaved in a reverse mohawk, and then painted Bohun's head in rainbow colors. He was also forced to drink a cup of what is alleged to be urine, and after which the Cleaver pours the urine over Bohun's head. Bohun's upper half is naked, and 2 Jewish symbols and a derogatory slogan are written on his chest. Since then, the Cleaver has been charged with incitement of social and ethnic hatred. The charge will bring along a 3 to 5 year prison sentence. And this is not the first time the Cleaver and his group have done something like this. They are known for putting out false advertisement on dating websites, humiliating and videoing gay teenagers. I'm so outraged by this and deeply saddened for the world. But that brings me to my next story, which comes all the way from Eastern Europe as well. And this week, masses of protesters, said to be 100,000, gathered on the streets of the Ukraine capital, Kiev. For those of you who may have missed this story, the trigger was the government's decision not to sign a far-reaching partnership deal with the EU, despite years of negotiations aimed at integrating Ukraine with the 28-nation bloc. The protesters urged Ukraine president to cancel his U-turn and go ahead with the EU deal after all, but he refused and the protests continued. Anger with the president escalated, and now protesters are demanding that he resigns from government. And yes, while you may have your own view on this, what is important is that you have a view and that you are able to express it in peaceful protest. But this week we learned that both Japan and Spain are making moves to criminalize protests. Spain's conservative government agreed to toughen penalties for unauthorized street protests up to the possible €600,000 fine, a crackdown that hopes to limit anti-austerity protests. Meanwhile, in Japan, the Liberal Democratic Party secretary compared demonstrations to an act of terrorism. Which brings me to my last story, and that is a Christmas celebration in Holland. For most children in Holland, the most important day during Christmas celebrations is December the 5th, when Sinterklaas, or St. Nicholas, brings them presents. Sinterklaas, also known as St. Nicholas, is wearing a red robe and comes with his helper and drops off gifts to children. And like the elves, his helper records whether the children have been naughty or nice all year long, and also, like the elves, drops off presents. But unlike the elves, Sinterklaas's helper, Black Pete, is black and a slave. It is one of the most popular Dutch traditions, but according to the UN panel of experts, part of it is racist and should be abolished. And the nation of the Netherlands is split on Black Pete, and you can imagine why. The Netherlands has a controversial colonial history, but on the other hand, many people in Holland think that Black Pete is just part of a tradition, and he could be Blue Pete after all. But what do you guys think? Is Black Pete racist? Should he be abolished, or is he simply part of a tradition? And don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and until next time, I am Katie Varvos, just another unemployed graduate.